So Jimmy, yeah, we're joined by you now here at UFC Glasgow. Big show here, the first show in Glasgow in Scotland for the UFC. For you, how does it feel to be on such a historic card, making your UFC debut?
It feels great. I can't wait to make my debut and then actually be my debut in the first time that Scotland's going to have the UFC here. So it's a great feeling. It feels awesome. I just hope, going out there to give the fans something they want to see, an exciting fight.
The guy you're facing, it's a bit ironic because obviously you tried out for TUF. You lost in that fight, the pre-fight to Bermudez, and obviously Brimage went on to be in that series as well. Do you feel like it's a bit of an ironic story how it's kind of come full circle for you here in the UFC?
Yeah, I feel like it's a little ironic story because he was on it and I was, but I did try out, almost made it to it. So it's kind of ironic that I'm facing him for my first fight, but I'm looking forward to it.
For you, do you feel like you and Brimage have had two different paths, in your career? Obviously, you've gone and fought in a lot of different promotions. Brimage has been here in the UFC, and do you kind of take for granted that, he made it through and you didn't, or were you happy that, maybe that's what you needed at that point in time?
Everything happens for a reason. I wish I made it, obviously, but I definitely learned a lot from it, and I moved forward and learned a lot as the fights I've took and fought before coming to here. So I really learned a lot about myself and what I need to do and how to kind of adjust the little things here and there. So even though I didn't make it, it's okay, in my head, because it really helped me find myself and get better as an individual, as a fighter.
You're only 26, if I'm right. Yeah. You're 26, but you've had a lot of fights in your career. You could already say you're entering on veteran status. 17 fights, if I'm correct. How does it feel to you to know that you're coming here, you're making your UFC debut, but this isn't a new ball game for you. You've been around the sport for quite a long time. Does that kind of ease the nerves a little bit?
Yeah, someone asked me before if I was nervous at all. I'm like, no, I'm not nervous. I'm just fighting for a different promotion. I'm fighting for one of the best promotions out there, the biggest promotion out there. So me, jitters, nervousness is not even a part of it. Some people come in, they're brand new, like, oh my God, UFC. I've been around it. I had teammates in it. So the nervousness is not there. It's just I can't wait to go out there and have some fun.
Tiger Schulman, camp you train out of, if I'm correct?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a very karatic, stand-up kind of background camp. For you coming into the fight with Brimage, who predominantly likes to wrestle, do you feel that you can take him on the feet?
Yeah, I think I can take him on the feet. I trained for him. We're really at, besides our striking, which is well known, which you said, but we do have a good wrestling background and we do have a good grappling background. It just depends on, who's who. I've done wrestling in high school and previous back in the day, and we have great grappling coaches and jiu-jitsu coaches that we work. So for the fight stuff, I'm actually looking forward to be on the feet and stand up.
We've seen in a few of Marcus's previous fights, he likes to kind of just take it to the ground and stay there. For you, is it really important to make sure he doesn't do that with you?
Yeah, I don't want to get taken down, and takedowns big in the eyes judges. I don't want anybody, taking me down, laying on top of me. I want to be able to dominate the fight. So going down the ground, I'm looking forward not to happen.
There's a big story in MMA at the minute, and that's MMA in New York. And it seems to be this big story. It nearly happens, and it falls at the last hurdle. What do you think the UFC and MMA needs to do as a whole to kind of get through to those people in New York and say, you know what, MMA is something important, and it's important for the economy, and it's important for the state as well to legalize?
I think just doing more conventions there and bringing more fighters there and letting people know about it and seeing what we are. Because sometimes, two people have think that MMA is just very vicious and, I guess caveman kind of sport, which is not. Everybody's well educated, everybody knows what they're doing. So I think just getting more conventions, getting more advertisement out there, and just getting more people together, it'd be great to advertise a little bit more. I work in the city, I have a school in the city, I teach MMA in the city, so it'll help even more. Especially the fight at Madison Square Garden would be awesome too.
You kind of mentioned that although it's not legalized, it's still a very, very big in the city of New York. We see a lot of gyms there. Obviously, if you go out a little bit further to New Jersey as well. Why is it that MMA is still so big in New York, even though it's not legalized there?
Because a lot of people like to do it. They like to do exactly what they see their favorite fighters do, and that's try it out. And a lot of gyms are very successful. Matter of fact, my gym, I have about 300 active students in it, and it's just really successful because I teach an average person how to defend themselves and how to get in shape at Tiger Schulman's, because I have a Tiger Schulman's in the city, and like I said, the fans really want to do what their favorite fighter does, and it's really cool they get to do it. Think about it. When I was a kid wrestling, you really couldn't practice wrestling, was everybody getting hurt and stuff like that. But MMA is something you've always done. So that's why it's really a great thing. They can, fans can really connect, and then they start seeing stuff they practice in class. Like, oh, we do this, oh, we do that. So it's really cool.
There's a New York fighter. He's a current middleweight champion of the world, Chris Weidman. Do you think he's key for helping MMA progress in New York? He's beaten Anderson Silva twice, Leo Machida. He's starting to get this, this firepower behind him, a lot of momentum. Do you think he's good for the sport in New York?
I think he's great for the sport. He's a champion, 185. He holds himself really highly. He's very professional. I think he's a great spokesman, a great person to get out there and have people follow him and, really lead, if they're doing a campaign, really lead a campaign on bringing MMA to the city. And hopefully one day, they have amateur MMA, but hopefully one day legalize the professional MMA there.
The talk is Chris Weidman going up against Luke Rockhold next. How do you see that fight going?
Luke Rockhold, he's a really tough guy. It's going to be an interesting fight. I'm excited for it. I'm going to have to pick though Weidman just because he's a champ. He's hardworking, and I know a lot because this camp's not far from ours, and he's a very hardworking individual. And I'm going to have to go with the champ on that one.
Lastly, Jimmy, you're making your debut this weekend. What can fans expect from you when they see you step into the octagon for the first time?
To see a high-paced fight, exciting fight, and to see a lot of punches and kicks thrown, for sure.
Thank you very much.